Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Antidots from CZT Anita Roby-Lavery. This is a neat tangle, and I'll put a link in the description box, not only to my step outs for it, but a link to the tanglepatterns.com entry, because it's interesting to hear the inspiration for this. One thing that she says is that it is a filler design used by long arm quilters. And I don't really know what that is, but it just sounds really interesting. I have seen different quilt patterns, you know, the stitching that have that either they've used tangles or tangles have been inspired by them, and this is one of them. So just really neat. All right, this I put in my corner dots and filled in with my did my border. So this one is a series of orbs, but they're kind of anchored in one place. Or tethered. That was the word. I heard Maria Thomas, co-founder of Zentangle, she called it tethered. And I'm like, that's the perfect way. So we're tethering it right here. So I made a dot here. And so I'm going to start, and I'm going to do my very best to make these bigger than I normally do. So we start, so again, a tethered orb, we'll call it. So we're going around one direction. Oh, I did make it bigger. Yay. Sometimes my whole one is that big. And then we're going to go back around the other way. And then back around again. So kind of 3 times. It's kind of neat because once you get in the groove, it's kind of soothing. So if you're looking for that meditative aspect, meditative mindfulness aspect of it, or, you know, so like sometimes you just have a day. And I have, well, and I'll be making a video of it at some point. My favorite, we call it mac and cheese tangle. There are those that we kind of go to and like you're having a bad day. This could be one of those where she's like, I just need to just not think. And this could do it. So it's kind of organic because so you do that once and then it can kind of grow off the sides of it. You can place them however you want. I'm going to have this one kind of grow off of here. So 1, a 2, a 3. Or maybe I'll have one go on this side here. 1, whoops, that was kind of big. You know, and it doesn't matter the size. You can do the size however you wish. And then I'll have one grow right off of here. I try to do them a little bit slow so that way maybe my lines. So like if I do go slow right now, when I'm going to doing the second one, sometimes I'm kind of tracing over what I've already done, you know, and having that, you know, this second orb, you know, come over and then again, meeting back in at that same place. And then the same thing for that third one. So they kind of all, they trace over each other a little bit. So sometimes going a little bit slower. Because it's easy, I tend to sometimes go fast. And then I get this, you know, where it just gets a little loopy, but still at the same time, it's still okay. And then you can just have them go whatever directions you want. This one is actually kind of neat also because if you wanted to have it look more like a like in a line, you certainly could. So like if I continue this here, 2, 3, you know, and I'm just kind of going back and forth like that, you know, it's kind of like flux, sort of. You know, you could have it kind of grow somewhat in that same manner. So you can do that, or you can use it as an entire fill-in. It is one of those that's completely up to you. And so what's fun about that is, and you know, it's just like you can kind of just lose yourself in it. I'm going to do a little hollow bow right there. I don't know that that's intended, but you know what? Once you get the idea of the tangle down, then we can... It's kind of like you learn the rules and then you can break the rules, or, you know, add in your own creativity. I know, I think on another video I mentioned, to me, it's kind of like, you know, well, like music or like jazz, you know, I like, you know, I don't mind jazz. I don't particularly care for the style that you can't find the original melody in there anywhere. That's kind of where I kind of go, well, all right. You know, and they don't always have to always go up. They can kind of go side. It's just however it grows for you and however you feel. And these are just kind of neat tangles in that respect. Now, you can just leave them like this. And then you could always, add some shading. So for instance, I could go, up. Well, you actually kind of see that kind of a stem there, and can, you with the tortillon, just kind of shade. Actually, it's kind of neat to do kind of either side. I'm just using what's left on my tortillon from some other things. So you see how that adds, I really did it really light. Let me do that, because the other thing is you can decorate them as well, but I can decorate right over this graphite. So let me do this with a little bit more seriousness. Sure, those of you that have watched more of these videos or been to some of my classes, right. No, I do take this very seriously. And, taking it very seriously and also having fun with it and not taking myself all too serious. There's something to be said about that, right? All right. Because I want for me, it's all a totally new experience because, being one of those people that never felt like I could draw, a stick figure to save your life. I'm just always continually amazed at that I can do any of this. But what I hope for, anyone watching is that, especially those that like me, that, we kind of have those perfectionistic tendencies, and we can kind of work to just be okay when it doesn't work out right. Because if it doesn't, so like I mentioned, some of mine were a little bit, where'd they go? It was right here. It went a little bit, loopy, but shading can kind of cover that. That's a good course correction. Or, and I mentioned that then you can decorate these as you wish. And that's another course correction. And I always make a mental note if there's something I didn't really like how it turned out, then it's like, that's the first place I'm going to take a look and see how I can fix it with some sort of course correction. So one thing that you could do, if you so desire, and you want to decorate these further, is you could color in a section or two sections. You could alternate. It doesn't matter. I think that this way is kind of cute. So like doing just the centers, I'll just do maybe these three here. And then I'll show you an example. You could color in the center, color in this, or just color in, so that way it's kind of alternated. You could also, so I like to, let me do these three, odd numbers and all of that. Actually, and you don't have to do all of them. You could just do some. And then what I have seen that's neat is to, leaving this empty. And actually, the example that I have, this is how I did this. And doing just some little straight lines in there. Or just putting some dots. And when I do that, I do like to alternate it because I think that makes it look kind of neat. But there's a host of things that you could do. That part is just up to your imagination. It really, really is. But it's a super fun tangle. And here's one that I did. This was part of, I think, when we did this for a class. Let me get it and let me back that camera up a little bit. So, and this is how they usually just make them way too small. But, and it just making a pile of them. And adding in, so I tried to alternate just straight lines in the dots. But it has a neat effect when they're kind of all piled together like that. And, yeah, like again, just a really neat tangle. Oh, see, and I was using sepia color here, as you can see, just a slight difference. But really, really neat tangle. Hope you enjoyed this. It's, if there's those times when you have a tangle and you just want to have a little something extra to fill in the corner, this is kind of one of those tangles. And, or if you're doing, in my mind, I like to categorize these as to kind of what they look like. So there are some other ones that have like a sea life or a watery, type of look. And, I put this one in there. I actually kind of make this so it looks sort of like coral. So if you were doing, you know, something where you have coordinating tangles, you know, you could always do that. So anyway, I hope you like this, and if you did, thumbs up is much appreciated. Love to see any comments if you you know, feel so inclined to leave any comments in the description box. Also, besides the stuff I already mentioned, are ways that you can connect. Right now, primarily on Facebook. But my website link is on there, so if you want to connect that way, subscribe to my blog. I just try to send some things out that way, and then we're just in touch. And if I'm gonna look for some other ways to connect, maybe outside of Facebook. I have an Instagram account. I don't use it that much. I need to do more. But just other ways that so I can see all of the beautiful work that you all are doing, especially if you're not on Facebook. So with that, I'm going to wish you a very, very happy tangling.